There was a receipt that was hanging out of the ATM, and I said, whatever's the balance on this, I'm gonna manifest. Balance of the account was 234,000, and it was so real to me that I just knew it was going to happen. And fast forward about 9 months, he decided to transfer stocks to me, which I sold. I was like, wow, this is almost the precise amount that I was manifesting when I was looking at this receipt. And it just shows to you that that we're so powerful. Whatever we have in our subconscious mind is what we can create.
Welcome to Lottery Dreams and Fortune. I am excited to be joined here today with Megan for this very special testimonial, and she has manifested $234,000 for a house down payment, BMW paid in cash, and even a $50,000 quantum healing device, which we're going to get into. But Megan, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much for joining us here today for this testimonial. So you've manifested some big things, a BMW, this $50,000 device, but this biggest one so far has been this $234,000 down payment on a house that you say that you manifested this. So how did this happen? Why is this manifestation? And can you share your story?
Yeah, absolutely. So I actually was living in an apartment. I moved from San Diego to here to Virginia, and I wasn't happy in my apartment. So I was wanting a house, and I had no idea how I was going to do that, but I've manifested other things, so I knew that I could do it. I don't know what made me do this, but I was driving through a Wells Fargo ATM, and there was a receipt that was hanging out of the ATM, and I said, whatever's the balance on this, I'm gonna manifest. And it's not like I lived in Beverly Hills or whatever, so I didn't know what the balance was going to be, and the balance of the account was 234,000. And I said, okay. Well, I got really specific, and I said I would put $200,000 down on a house. Um, I started actually visualizing the house and me living in the house after, because a lot of the way that I do it is through visualization. And so I was just visualizing being in the house, touching the counters, my feet on the grass. It was so real to me that I just knew it was going to happen. And fast forward about 9 months, and I did kind of let it go. I was like, okay, just living my life. My dad told me that he was actually having open heart surgery. And my dad's pretty well off, but I have never asked him for anything. I would never ask him for anything. I just was like, one day when he leaves, like, I know that I'll be taken care of. But he said that in this instance, after his open heart surgery, that he thought about life differently. And he said, Megan, what do you think about buying a house? Like, and I said, it's funny that you mentioned this because yes, I have been. So from that time, it was July of 2024, and then I closed on my house in this past June of 2025. And so basically, what he did was he decided to transfer stocks to me, which I sold, and it ended up being almost the exact same amount that was on the receipt that I was visualizing that was at the ATM.
Wow. Well, that's incredible. So when you pulled this receipt out of the ATM and you saw this and you visualized this and you set this goal within your conscious mind, and it sounds like unconscious mind, but your goal to create this, to manifest this, and then it happened in real life, it's pretty precise. What were you thinking when this actually happened?
I was kind of like, wow, this really works. But at the same time, I just knew that it was already my house. I started looking at houses in the area that I wanted. I already found the one that I want, and it was just a knowing.
And how did it feel when you did? I mean, it was a knowing, but how did it feel? Was it surreal or did you just expect it? And then was it like, how did it feel?
Uh, It was still surreal because when I looked at the exact, so when I went to go transfer or sell my stocks that were transferred to me, I was like, wow, this is almost the precise amount that I was manifesting when I was looking at this receipt, and it's a random amount. I mean, so it just shows to you that whatever, I mean, that we're so powerful. Whatever we have in our subconscious mind is what we can create.
Yeah, that is amazing. That is amazing. I mean, that is very exact, very precise. And I know you're really into Neville Goddard and Florence Shin. And so, what
Yeah.
specifically did you? Some people listening and watching are familiar with them, some are not. But just for people that, just everyone, what specifically did
Yeah.
you do? Which techniques did you do or do you believe in? You mentioned visualization, but what worked for you with this and in general?
I think, well, with techniques, I feel like everybody is going to resonate with something that's a little bit different. Some people like to affirm, I am wealthy, or some people prefer visualization. I just was in this state. It was almost like I just shifted consciousness of just knowing. And it's just, my life is completely different than it was 6 months ago. Just because I feel like we're always shifting states of consciousness. And so I know what Neville Goddard talks about is just being in the state of knowing. And so I think for me, I may, especially when I fall asleep at night, be more in the subconscious world than I do the 3D world. And then it shows up.
And would you say that you viewed it as being already done? Because sometimes that's preached with Neville Goddard, that it's already done. You live in the state of the wish fulfilled. Is that kind of how you felt about it?
Yes, yes, exactly. I would visualize my friends coming over for dinner here at the house I'm in right now, um, and already be there, even though I woke up in my apartment.
So you sort of became this on the inside before it represented itself on the exterior,
Exactly.
externally.
Exactly.
Hmm. And you've also, I mean, you have this, so you have this new I don't know if it's new, but a BMW that you
Yeah.
paid in cash as well. So is that part of this, or what happened with that?
No, that's just that was a manifestation. So when I started this process 5 or 6 years ago, when I was really conscious about our thoughts and our subconscious, and that we're constantly creating. My ex and I, we rented a car to drive to Arizona, and it ended up being a BMW. And I said, it'd be really nice to have this. And I kept visualizing it and like just holding on to the steering wheel. I knew I wanted an SUV. And it was during the time that I was in 2020. So I guess with the tax laws, we were able to take some cash out without there being penalty, and ended up paying cash for a BMW, and then also another like a healing device that I have too.
Wow. So you believe that was manifested as well. What is the healing device and how did you manifest these things?
Um, well, I would just say it's through visualization and knowing and stepping into a decision, the state of consciousness of already being that person that has it. And then as far as the healing device, I knew I wanted it to be a part of my business because I love helping other people. I love watching people step into their full potential. And so I would visualize, that took me 2 months, which is crazy. And I would just visualize me just seeing clients, and I work with different sound frequencies within the body. And so I would just visualize me working with clients and helping them that way.
What are the sound frequencies with the body? What do you mean?
So there are different resonant sound frequencies. So, I would say, 95% of disease and illness in the body, comes from stress. So a lot of times I'll run stress relief, sound frequencies, and, trauma frequencies, and it allows people's bodies go back into coherence and self-healing. So, I've always been passionate about alternative health solutions. And I think that, yeah, that's part of my practice. So
Very, very interesting. And do you do meditation or that sort of thing as well when you're visualizing, or is this just when you're out and about and you're just imagining things, or is it both?
I would say it's a little bit of both. I do wake up in the morning and I do affirmations, I would say, that are just for myself. So one of the affirmations I say is I am powerful. I'm always drawn to the right people. I'm always drawn to people that are, that I'll be able to help. And it's crazy because I'll go out or I'll be in a coffee shop and I'll just randomly start talking to people, and it's just how life unfolds like that.
Yeah, it is really interesting when life unfolds like that with synchronicities and that sort of thing. It is, I mean, it's quite remarkable, really. But this one for you with the house payment for this
Yeah.
$234,000 house payment, I mean, very precise, inspired from this receipt. This wasn't, if I understand this correctly, it wasn't just financial. It sort of shifted your relationship with your dad. Is that correct? How did his change
Yeah.
of heart impact you?
I actually do feel like it brought us closer, and he's going through some of his own, uh, I would say, challenges right now. And he actually flew out from Arizona to have me do frequencies on him, and he's opened up, I feel like, so much and has shifted, and we've become closer. And he's reading a book that I gave him about it's The Power of the Subconscious Mind, by Dr. I think Joseph Campbell. And so he's reading that, and I can just see a shift in his own consciousness. And so, yeah, I mean, it unfortunately, the open heart surgery was not a way that I thought it would come about, but he's okay now. So,
Well, I'm glad to hear that. And the power of the subconscious mind, I mean, it's incredibly powerful. I mean, that's most of everything that happens is subconscious and we just don't realize it. Our consciousness is just a little sliver of what we perceive to be reality, which is so interesting. But for people listening who want to manifest something big, whether it's a massive house payment, a new car paid in cash, or anything else, what's your best advice for them to be successful?
I would actually say don't even think of it as something that's big, because I think it's just as easy to manifest a cup of coffee as it is, a few $100,000. It's just you have to just let go of the attachment of it and not put it on a pedestal. Um, when people think, "Oh, that's so much more impossible than something small," it's not, because it's really all the same, because you're just tapping into the quantum field. So I would just say, know that it's done, have a strong belief that it'll happen, and then just let it go. Go about your life.
I love that. I love that. And it's kind of like living in the end and then waiting for this reality to catch up. Maybe.
Exactly.
Well,
Yeah.
well, Megan, I love your story. I'm so happy you reached out to us. It's really inspiring and incredible. And but is there anything that you want to say about your story that I don't know, or that you just want to say today, or about anything else?
No, not really. Just that we're powerful creators, and I think that, I mean, no matter what your spiritual beliefs are, whether you call it universe, God, source, whatever, is always working through us. And so if you have a desire in your heart, it's because it's meant to be fulfilled.
I love that. Yeah, I
So,
mean, you wouldn't have the desire if it weren't possible, is what they say.
yeah,
But
exactly.
okay. Well, Megan, thank you so much for taking the time today. It was really a pleasure, and I love your mindset, and I really appreciate you coming on here and sharing your testimonial, your story today.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Before I won, I had this burning desire. Like, it felt like if I didn't go get these tickets, it was going to be the end of the world. I sit down and I'm looking at the ticket and I'm looking at my phone I jump up and I go, babe, am I tripping or do these numbers match? I think we just won over $300,000. And he was like, no. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm serious. That amount of money is life-changing.
Do you believe that you manifested this win?
1,000,000% believe that it is. You literally can manifest anything into your life.